Oh. Okay. I'm gonna play a Tetris marathon. Forgive the humming and ahhing, it's just that my OCD is still bad. You might have noticed I'm playing differently here from how I used to play him. I'm doing what they call in Tetris circles a too wide build. Just notice how at the side is too wide there. I've left a too wide gap, and that's because it allows you to do better longer combos, which comes in handy for when you're trying to win Tetris games against people and overwhelm them by sending when you're trying to overwhelm opponents by sending a lot of lines to them, because I used to try and send lots of lines to people through sheer speed, but I've found these days there's often sheer speed alone doesn't cut it, and instead it's can be more helpful to send combinations to people instead, because when you send combinations, the more successive lines you send without missing any in between, the game adds more lines to what you're actually sending. So that means that once you've built, best I go slow now, I've started making mistakes with the speed, but say if you've started a big combo and you've managed to send lines for about you've managed to send lines over say 10 successive moves, so your combo is 10 long. Then if you send another line and keep the combo going, just sending one line will send 4 lines to your opponents because of how the combo is built up to such an extent that that extra lines will automatically be being sent to your opponent because of the game rewarding you for the combo by adding those bonus lines, so to speak. At least my OCD isn't as bad for this particular playthrough. Now let's just hope that I actually succeed. That was a good recovery though, wasn't it? Yeah. Maybe another moment for my personal highlight reel there. Oh, the game's cheating me now, I think, by having different lengths of time for the pieces to stay at the bottom of the screen before before new ones are sent. I know that's not a good description, but as you can see, this is a stressful time. Thought I was doing well as well, and I was going to do it. Can still recover maybe. Just when I was starting to recover, it cheated again. And my concentration isn't at its best with my OCD. I'll just... I'll just see what... yeah, I'll keep recording. What was that, 17? Oh, it's just a statistic on the thing. Look. Oh, OCD is acting up. Excuse me a moment. Oh. Just seeing the word God then makes me anxious, because it makes me scared of having bad thoughts towards God, in case I end up being punished, in case I end up being punished for it further down, in case I end up being punished for it when I die. Okay, let's try again. Just when I think my OCD started to get better, I'll have another bad attack of it, and I'll be an anxious wreck all over again. Didn't manage to do a too wide this time, but it's good to play in different ways, isn't it, rather than being too predictable. That's what I find that helpful in that was a mistake. I find that helpful in competitive online games, not being predictable. These games making me make mistakes and place attack. It's making me place the Tetrimals wrongly in places where I didn't actually place them because of the lag. That's not a good sign. I'd end up having to restart again in order to get rid of the lag. might go for a 2 wide here though. Providing I don't make a mistake, panic and make a mistake and end up losing because of it. Yeah, I suppose this is the best I'm gonna get for a 2 wide. And that was rather pitiful, wasn't it? Now I'd best start going slowly and carefully. See, already made a mistake just then at the thought of it getting faster. I'm such a stupid idiot, you see. Just ask the people I argue with online, they'll tell you. I mean, I haven't seriously participated in an online argument in a while, but people are still insulting me from one of my old classic arguments online, and that's always fun to go back and check on, even if I'm not seriously participating in it anymore. Yeah, I find it hard to be accurate with the placement of tetramers sometimes. Commentary's a bit poor here, isn't it? Hope the game doesn't cheat me and start changing the speeds of the consistency of the tetramers and the resting periods, if you know what I mean. Like the amount of time they stay on the ground before I get a new tetramer. When it gets inconsistent with them, it's easy to make mistakes. Probably got no idea what I'm talking about, have you, due to how badly I explain things. But give me a break with how stressful this is. On level 15 now, this is the last one. Barring any major mistakes, I should do this. OCD is making me anxious though, at the thought of success. Because I start worrying that God will think I'm an ingrate to punish me. That was a really... That was a really good score, wasn't it? Yeah, I used to I used to think 500,000 was the elite level scores, but I saw someone manage 800. I saw someone manage 800,000 the other day. And so, although that score of mine was rather paltry by comparison, at least I managed to complete that marathon mode, which I'm happy about. So you can see how professional I am. Elite, rather, even though I'm not quite elite in terms of getting those massive scores. But anyway, bye everyone.